So that's the way you want it, huh? Green Ranger versus the White Ranger.
Tiger Sword! Dragon Sword!
Jeez, man.
What's good, everybody? This your boy Big Country out here with another video for y'all today. Today we're doing a reaction to the Tory Lanez case. Well, to the verdict of the Tory Lanez case. And this video is by my boy CLR Bruce Rivers. This guy, Bruce Rivers, legit about his business when because he is an attorney. And he's also done like reactions and gave his perspective on many celebrity cases and self-snitching cases where people be snitching. He hilarious too, by the way. You know, it's like he definitely one of them dudes that don't give a fuck. So I'm gonna leave a link to his channel below also. And my opinion as far as the Tory Lanez case, I'll probably give an opinion about that after this video. But hopefully everybody's been having a good day so far, and let's get into it.
Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. Bruce Rivers, he's the criminal lawyer. And what he do? And it's gonna react to all the self-snitching.
His intro song hard. Whoever made his the dude that made his intro is hard. That shit, it just goes with his channel.
Welcome to another fun-filled episode of Criminal Lawyer Reacts. I'm Bruce Rivers, and welcome to the holidays. It's Christmas, and this is a fireside chat edition of CLR Bruce Rivers. But before we get on to that, guess what? This, like all of our episodes, is sponsored by eForms.com. eForms.com. Let's say you're in jail this weekend because you kind of went off the rails. Well, you need somebody to handle your affairs when you're in jail. So you call your sweetheart and you have somebody go to eForms.com and get her power of attorney. Now she can handle all your stuff for you until you get out, and you can revoke that power of attorney if you don't really trust her that much. But anyway, go to eForms.com.
Wait. He's silly as hell for that, talking about you can revoke that if you don't like what if you don't trust her enough. He's telling you don't trust them hoes, don't do it.
Doesn't matter what state you go to, they've got all the forms needed for any kind of stuff. Don't hire me. Don't hire a guy like me. I would just go to eForms.com, and you just have to go back there anyway. So go to eForms.com. They're awesome. Now, let's talk about the Tory Lanez verdict. Now, Tory Lanez was convicted of all 3 counts. He was convicted of assault with a deadly weapon, negligent discharge, and possession of an unregistered firearm. The possession of an unregistered firearm is not that big a deal. The news media says he's looking at 22 and a half years. He's not looking at that much time.
I never believed it either.
The biggest problem that he's going to have is deportation. He's from Canada. He's not a U.S. citizen, I don't think. And if he's convicted of a felony, especially a gun count, he is going to be looking at a significant amount of time. Out of the country, that is. Now, let's just talk about what happened in this trial. You had Megan Thee Stallion, Megan Pete. She testified. Kelsey Harris testified, but Kelsey Harris I don't think was all that powerful. But what's powerful in this case are 2 things. One, the position of where Tory Lanez was.
And before I let him keep going into it, yeah, Kelsey, with Kelsey, my thing about her is I don't understand why she was pleading the fifth like majority of the case. Like she was hiding something, and they just let her get away with the pleading the fifth though for the most part. And that shit was annoying to me. I mean, that's just my opinion about that part.
In the vehicle. And then the other part is, look at her injury. They pulled a slug out of her, or at least a fraction of a portion of a slug,
yeah, they proved
out
that
of her
was
foot.
real.
So the jury evidently...
Because social media was going crazy with that, though, for real. Because they were saying, like, it don't even look like nothing's in your foot. Nothing's in your foot. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It depends on what happens when, the police report and all that.
Bought what Megan Thee Stallion was selling. Now, there's a lot of controversy about what happened and how it happened and who to believe and who not to believe. The jury in this case believed Megan Thee Stallion and believed that Tory Lanez actually fired the shot. But there...
And that's another thing, and I'm going to stop pausing so much, but The thing that annoyed me was the jury, because it was like I felt like the jury already was leaning towards Megan in that whole case. Like it felt like Tory had a 3-1 lead and he blew it, but at the same time, it felt like they was already going to try to convict him. I felt like they were going to try to get him for some reason, because they didn't 100% prove that he was guilty on this. But you know, I'm not. I'm. I mean, what I'm saying, but hold on. I'm gonna hold off on my thoughts and stuff too.
There was some controversy about whether or not Kelsey and Tory were fighting over this gun, and Kelsey, when push came to shove, she didn't testify for shit. She didn't testify that she heard Tory say "dance, bitch." She didn't hear him say that, or at least now she says I was drunk and I'm suffering from postpartum depression. So she didn't recall that, and she didn't recall seeing him shoot.
You see my face, right, when she said that?
The gun. So it really came down to Tory's word against Megan's word. And when you have that, you can't have that without something else backing things up. She did have an injury. There's no question that she had an injury. She went to the doctor and they pulled out a bullet fragment out of her foot. That's powerful. And then you also look at the location where they found the gun and where they found Tory. And we, in our last video about this, you remember we showed you that Tory was in the front passenger seat, Megan Thee Stallion was in the rear passenger side, and Kelsey Harris was in the rear driver's side. So when you have something like this happen, you know, people take sides, right? When the OJ case happened, people took sides, regardless of race, gender, or whatever. But in this case, people are taking sides, and Megan's taken a lot of heat for this. So let's take a look at the reaction from Tory's father.
In the LAPD's office, tell me how.
Hold on a second, y'all.
Sorry
about
there's
that,
no
y'all.
fingerprints. My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. That office, tell me
We'll go
how.
back.
Tory's father.
In the LAPD's office, tell me how there's no fingerprints. My God Almighty, I call heaven and earth to be a record today. That Rock Nation, you will crumble. I am the apostle of God.
That's right.
And you will know one.
That's right. Say that, man. Come on.
And then what's killing me is, you know what I'm saying, it's not killing me, but it's like, damn, it's crazy he shouted Rock Nation out like that, like where he was like, yeah, they're going to crumble. You know what I'm saying? I have a theory about that too, but you know, we'll talk about that later.
That's a father speaking passionately about his son. And what is a father going to do, honestly? A father typically is going to be advocate for his son. But let's talk about what he just talked about. There's no fingerprints on that gun. Guess what? You know how often it is you find fingerprints on a firearm? Not that often. It's more often that we don't find fingerprints on a firearm, because firearms typically have oil on them, right? And you have oil on your fingers. You just generally, you know, we have oil, just natural oils that come out of our skin. And when you have a firearm, you know, generally you don't get a good fingerprint off of it. So the fact that there wasn't a fingerprint on this firearm does not say a whole lot about whether he held the gun or not. And let's talk about DNA. You're not necessarily going to get DNA off of a firearm. There's a whole variety of reasons for it, but sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. Sometimes there just isn't enough material to get the DNA off of a gun. And if you get a DNA, sometimes it's not complete. So they can say, well, we can't exclude that person. So in other words, that we can't say that person touched the gun 100%, but we can't exclude him either. So 9 times out of 10, I see this in gun cases all the time, where you just really don't have a whole lot of DNA or fingerprints on a gun. So where does that leave us? You know, like I said, people take sides. People get in this camp or that camp. People have conspiracies. People, you know, I mean, listen how passionate his father was, you know, and that's understandable. But the jury has spoken, and the jury's verdict should be respected. They heard every ounce of this trial. You didn't. I didn't. We weren't in the courtroom. We didn't see exactly what was said and what evidence was presented.
And you know what? I'm not even mad at him for saying that because, I mean, push come to shove, none of us that's all out here talking about the case was in the courtroom except all the people that was in the courtroom, including that jury. So, you know, I can understand why that could be swayed in that way, but it just still feels like some pieces are missing.
So, and we know that Megan got fucking shot. We know she got shot. And we also know that Tory has means. So, Tory Lanez didn't come at this like your typical client who's got the public defender, who hasn't had time to look into the case.
Nah, he had sources.
And he had resources. And those resources challenged and lost. Even the best lawyer, guess what? Can't change facts. You can't change the fact. Can't change the fact of where he came out of the car. You can't change the fact of where they found the firearm. You can't change the fact that she had a bullet wound in her foot and a fragment in her foot. So those are hard facts. And those hard facts are probably what corroborated Megan's information that she gave to the jury. So everybody should take a step back. Now, here's the thing. Is he going to get 22 and a half years? Not on your life. There's just no way that's going to happen. He probably will do a year, maybe 2 years at the max. Or maybe he'll just get probation. It really isn't going to be a very stiff sentence. But his bigger consequence will be an immigration consequence. Because you get convicted of a felony, major felony like this one, crime of violence, that is reason for deportation. It's possible that his lawyers might try something to kind of keep him in the country, but that is the bigger consequence that he is going to have to worry about. So this has just been our little fireside chat about the Tory Lanez case, and I just want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas!
And if you're doing a little
even
bit
though
of
it was 3 days ago,
take an Uber. So I'm Bruce Rivers.
And what do you say there?
Thank you for a fireside chat about the Tory Lanez case. And I just want to wish all of you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And if you're doing a little bit of this, take an Uber. So I'm
Facts.
Bruce Rivers. Thank you for an awesome year. I'm going to just give some props out to my son, Michael, who is a content genius. Michael Rivers.
Yay.
Give him some love on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you follow us. Our hats off to J-Lap and Cram. And then our hats off to Percy Mack, who did our outro. We really have had a lot of support and a lot of success this year. And our hats also off to... So we'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts. Subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Instagram. And follow us on Patreon, because we're doing some good work there too. We'll see you next time here on Criminal Lawyer Reacts.
Bruce Rivers just broke down your case. He know all the charges that you about to face. You ain't coming home till 2058. That self-snitching gon' get you put away.
Wait, this that same beat I heard
just broke down your case.
Davis
He
rap
know all
on
the charges
that
that you about to
AMP
face.
cypher.
You ain't coming home till 2058.
Yeah, that was the same beat I heard. It sounds similar to that beat Davis was freestyling when AMP did the freestyle. When they was going at Fredo and what's old boy Nick, the basketball player. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The ones who watch AMP know what I'm talking about. But yeah, anyway, so okay, so in my opinion, this is my opinion, by the way. So I don't need y'all all going crazy at me in the comments and stuff. I don't mind your opinions about it though and stuff, but don't get mad at what my thoughts are. My thoughts are that this case is wholly in a motherfucker, because they did have evidence of Megan getting shot and stuff like that, and I feel for her as far as that, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, they didn't prove that Tory shot her for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's either Tory or Kelsey. I low-key think it's Kelsey that shot him, but, you know, in my opinion, that's my opinion. But I feel like Tory got a bad deal out this whole situation. I kind of do. In a way, I feel like he got a bad deal out of this whole situation. Because you didn't conclusively configure, even though, yeah, he says that about the guns, But at the same time, you still didn't prove that Tory. Well, they did have an article saying that Tory and Kelsey both had gun residue on them and stuff. But when you think about it, though, when you're in a closed space like that, especially like a vehicle, and you let off a gunshot and stuff, everybody in that space is going to get infected with the gun residue or the gunpowder or whatever it is. Gunpowder is going to get all on you, especially when you're in a space like a vehicle. So that could be really many things too. Because then what happened to the bodyguard in the case too? By the way, what happened to him? Like I must be missing something here. But if I'm missing some things or what I'm saying like that, let me know down in the comments below. But otherwise than that, I enjoyed this video as usual. Bruce, you that guy, man, as usual. I'm subscribed to your channel and what I'm saying? Of course, I'm going to check out more of your content, my boy. And I'm going to leave the link to his channel down below for y'all to check out also. And if you like this reaction that I gave too, personally, leave a like, comment, and subscribe on my page. And also check out other content I have on the channel just as well. I know I put the small screen on this time, so I'm pointing up towards wherever I put my other videos at the end of this video. But definitely hit my social medias up. Hit my comments there. Let me know if anything y'all want to check out. And great vibes, great day, y'all.